Hello, we're here at the VIGS Institute Hackathon, the AI Hackathon, which I think is unique and different. And we're here in Vienna, Austria, and we have a group downstairs trying to figure out how to start a company in one day, maybe, using AI as a tool. And I have here as my guest Zoltán, who works for a tech company. And let me ask him just to give us a little introduction into how he got into this, what the company does, and what they're doing.
Well, thank you for having me, Zoltán. It was a little bit an issue disappearing from downstairs because indeed, with all those participants, the works are at full speed. And the aim of today's hackathon, it's bringing in no-code, low-code tools and AI to make any process within the companies streamlined, simplified, or automated. I'm very, very happy that we could be part of it. I'm representing Vox Sapiens. Vox Sapiens is a company we kicked off as a spin-off from our agency, expansion agency, which basically supported companies in their expansion path from the Central Eastern European region. We are originally from Bratislava, but currently with Vox Sapiens based in London. Back to the agency, we supported all these entrepreneurs who were about to get to foreign markets, from Slovakia, Hungary, Czech Republic, to Germany, to the Polish market, for example. And we used AI within our own processes all the time. Mm-hmm. Indeed, we tried to automate, we tried any new versions of releases. And as mentioned earlier, even downstairs, I could not imagine running with the conversational AI part. This is where our focus is with Vox Sapiens. I could not imagine running it like a year ago. This technology has advanced big time. It's moving forward, very, very high-paced, and we are testing and trying even now downstairs new and new functionalities. So that's a good sandbox.
If someone asked you, a 5-year-old, what's AI, what would you tell him?
5-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, I have a 5-year-old grandson. He's very smart, and what would you tell him?
Okay. I considered if someone asked me what's AI, if I was at my age of 5. No, a 5-year-old.
What's AI? What would you tell him?
I would say a machine, a box, as it's for a 5-year-old. I was thinking of a more complex answer, just trying to simplify. It's a machine which could give answer to most of your questions.
Okay.
A precise answer, which can help you and support you in learning. You can ask several different kind of questions, and it can grow with you. Because as you extend your understanding, you learn more, you will have more questions. Yeah. The generative AI, which is currently prepared, not only for this, but even for larger scale topics and things, is ready to give those guidance answers.
You think children are interested in AI?
I think
they're interested in tech. We know that.
Of course.
Right? They love the iPhone. They're actually good at it. It's amazing. They go, they know. And they may not quite know what AI is, but they clearly are growing up with technology, and it's like a part of their life.
And that has changed. Like, if I remember when we were kids, that's totally different.
It's totally. And you grew up also with technology, sort of, right?
Of course.
I didn't experience technology really till I was 40 years old. I remember landline telephones. Yeah. Big box, radio, TVs, sort of the dinosaur world. And so, this has been a part of my life. And if you talk to most people my age, they will say, it was a bumpy ride. just trying to learn all this. And now we're in this, is it fair to say, a hyper-accelerated technology world? So it reminds me of a hockey stick. You know what hockey is, right?
Yes.
And I'm an empirical scientist. I'm not a data scientist. That has different meaning. And what I like to do is look for hockey sticks, right? Something that looks like this. And my favorite one that everybody knows was the Industrial Revolution, right? Life went along like this for 100,000 years or more, right? And then, and I always pick the date 1776 because it corresponds with the American Revolution, right? And economic growth started to increase and has increased every year, right? So for the last 250 years now, we have gone from living in a Malthusian world where there's a fine line between having enough food to eat and starving to death every year, right? One bad harvest, right? The village is wiped out, or you go raid the neighbor, right?
Well, yeah.
And so here we are in a world that is even hard to grasp. And here's my question. It took me a long time to get there. I sort of view digitalization as starting in 1971 when we invented the microprocessor, right? We can pick up, right? And for 50 years, we've been on this path, right? And when I talk about this, I always say, look, in the 70s, we invented the chip. In the 80s, the PC. The 90s, the internet and the World Wide Web. In the 2000s, the smartphone. And in 2010s, we invented cloud computing and algorithm revolution. And then we get to this decade. And my question, and I've never gotten a really good answer, is this a continuum or are we on a new hockey stick with AI? Because I'm going to make the assumption that the technology of this decade is AI, right? It wasn't clear in 2020, right? Because it was like, what is it going to be? It's like we weren't sure. No doubt now, right?
A lot has changed in a very, very short time.
In a very short time.
Yes, exactly.
Well, my view is the pandemic kicked us into the future. We didn't want to go and just boom, and we woke up and here we are. And AI is running wild. So this question, is this a new epoch or is this a continuation? We still use chips, but
we still use electricity, right?
And we still use electricity.
You made me think of my beginnings with the computing. Like I was getting my very, very first computer with that weird noise, the modem made in the 90s.
Yeah.
And if I imagine all those picture the hockey sticks, what you mentioned, picturing it, it's if you look at the long trend, that's always like the adoption of the innovation. These peaks in certain time are getting kind of a market standard. And this is, I would connect it now with the children. This is highly impacted with the pace, how companies, how people, how mankind can adapt to those changes and in a better case benefit from them. Maybe those children, to reflect the beginning of your question, they don't even know using AI. They are just taking it.
That's right. They don't even know.
Exactly. Taking it or considering it as a natural thing and having this natural part of their life. If we would avoid or at least import such behavior to some companies, the progress would be even faster, I would say. Because of removing the adoption barriers. There are definitely some. And I would reply with one of Gartner studies from 2019, I think. They said like in couple of years, in 2030, their estimation was AI will like replace human beings from their work. You know, we are somewhere half of the way. Yes, we see some, I would not say replacement, but rather AI agents, if we are talking about AI, agentific AI, supporting humans. And this is all about what we are doing downstairs with the use cases to see where it would fit and to enable that adoption, despite the potential security issues, despite those very strict rules, what big corporations usually bring in or live with. That's kind of a natural setup for them. And my personal opinion is that if we use those AI models, those enhancements and automations which could support the humans to do their work better, let them dedicate on some more or higher added value services, not answering the repetitive questions, but getting straight to the point and giving higher quality service to the recipient, either that's an external customer or an in-house employee, you know, to keep their pace up and keep them involved. I could give some statistics where, as I mentioned at the beginning, we spun off our solution, the Vox Sapiens AI calling agents, from a sales/expansion agency. Imagine being in the sales shoes or having your sales manager's hat on, and you have plenty of calls to make. And let's say 70-80% of those calls are not converting to deals. That's something where a well-fitted and well-trained AI agent could support a big time.
Is using AI like training a dog?
Training a dog?
You know, have you ever had a puppy?
Yes.
It's a terrible job, right? They don't listen, but when you work with them, you can train them to do all kinds of things. Is AI sort of similar?
Why would you wish for, on one hand, you know? Wait a sec, definitely not for cats.
No, definitely not for cats, right.
Okay, so, but for the dogs, I would say it's for the pleasure of the human that we spend time with those puppies and seeing them grow and seeing the progress. So why would you outsource it to some machine?
Yeah. But I mean...
but I could imagine AI...
well, no, but I mean, using AI is like almost like meeting someone in a bar for the first time and having a conversation, right? And you're trying to find things out. And so when you talk to AI, I've learned if you're nicer to it, it's nicer to you. And, you know, it gets to know you. It tries to just like a puppy tries to understand you. And there's almost this quasi-human element there.
Definitely. Yeah. And it should not be avoided at any step. Imagine, let's seek for the parallel between the puppy and the AI. The more time you dedicate to the puppy, the better progress you make. The better you're going to, Very same with the AI. The more quality inputs you give, you know, and it's not like we pick up AI, an agent or a predefined step of processes, and we put it somehow to the environment. This is what we are exercising downstairs. We really need to create that environment where it fits. And if that's well orchestrated, by the way, this is the whole philosophy of our company, to have this end-to-end solution easily lift and shiftable and well orchestrated. A
great byline for a company would be teaching people how to be nice to AI. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the discussion.